The man who blew the whistle on Premier Ford's customized van demands and who questioned the hiring of the longtime Ford family friend Ron Tavener as the OPP's new commissioner was fired today. Former OPP Deputy Commissioner Brad Blair is asking an Ontario court to order the Ontario Ombudsman to look into Tavener's appointment. And today, the Deputy Minister who is actually involved in Tavener's hiring fired Blair.
This is yet another example of Mr. Ford just, taking out his revenge on people that stand up to him. It puts a chill, I think, across anybody who's going to stand up to this government. And really, this is a man who's dedicated his career to the OPP, who's worked very hard to get to the highest levels in that organization, only to be, his reputation to be sullied by the Premier of this province. It stinks. It's disgusting.
But Minister of Community Safety, Sylvia Jones, says the firing happened because he ignored warnings to keep confidential police matters confidential.
All public servants take an oath of office. It appears this oath was breached. Further, Mr. Blair's letter to the Ombudsman clearly contained information connected with the OPP regarding confidential information. Mr. Blair was informed of this decision on December 28 by his ethics executive. By releasing more private information during his subsequent legal filings, Mr. Blair breached his oath and appears to have breached the Act. He has violated his duties and the obligations he is supposed to uphold as a public servant.
When questioned repeatedly, Jones said she had no part in the decision.
They did not ask for my permission to terminate his employment. They did not ask my advice to terminate his role with OPP. They notified me of the decision that it had been made.
Jones couldn't or wouldn't say what specifically prompted the review of Blair's file and directed reporters to speak with the person who ultimately made that call.
I would ask that you speak to Di Tommaso directly on that.
Mario Di Tommaso was only hired by the Ford government last fall. Before that, he worked for Toronto Police Services, most recently as Tavener's commanding officer. He was part of the hiring committee that selected Tavener for the post as Ontario's top cop. We reached out to the ministry and asked to speak with Di Tommaso. Instead, we were issued a statement. The decision was made on the recommendation of the Deputy Minister of Community Safety as the deputy head of the ministry. But the statement didn't address our key questions about timelines, if internal emails submitted as legal evidence were the cause of the termination, or if there were concerns about Di Tommaso's relationship with Tavener. But the Liberals are calling on Di Tommaso to testify in front of the Justice Committee.
We don't know who triggered the investigation at the Public Service Commission, and I think that's the real question. Did Di Tommaso was asked by his minister or by the Premier's office? I think what's very important is that we hear it from Di Tommaso exactly what the process is, and to see how clear it was and what were his instructions, whether there was any instructions, whether there was any discussions at any point since December about this file.
Now, the Justice Committee, which is made up of a majority of Tories, can't vote against asking Di Tommaso to come and testify. Now, all of this is happening while an integrity investigation into Tavener's appointment is underway. And his appointment, well, it's been postponed until the ethics probe is complete.